jungle. Audio Jungle.
United States and joining with ASEAN country navies keep watching at Chinese bombers on the disputed Paracel Islands in the South China Sea, and after China also has recently deployed fighter jets and at least one bomber, the H-6J, to the Paracels amid ongoing maritime disputes with other coastal states in the region. The presence of Chinese bombers on the disputed Paracel Islands in the South China Sea jeopardizes peace, Vietnam's foreign ministry said on Thursday, in another sign of disapproval in the region of Beijing's increased defense activities. China, which has for years been locked in maritime disputes with other coastal states in the South China Sea, has in recent months boosted its presence and exercises in disputed parts of the strategic waterway, at a time when other claimants are battling coronavirus outbreaks. The fact that relevant sides sent weapons and bombers not only violates Vietnam's sovereignty but also jeopardizes the situation in the area, ministry spokeswoman La Tu Hang said at a briefing, when asked to comment on the presence of at least one Chinese bomber on the Paracel Islands. Vietnamese and Chinese media have reported that China has recently deployed fighter jets and at least one bomber, the H-6J, to the Paracels, one of two groups of South China Sea islands that China claims historical ownership of. Heng did not say when the bomber was seen at the Paracels. China's foreign ministry referred questions to the defense ministry, which did not immediately respond to a request from Reuters for comment. China's defense ministry spokesman Ren Guojiang late last month said H-6G and H-6J bombers had participated in high-intensity training in the area. Those included takeoff and landing exercises, long-distance strikes and the hitting of targets above the surface of the sea. China has this year also deployed survey ships, along with Coast Guard vessels, to waters off Vietnam and Malaysia. China's Coast Guard vessel, Zhongguo Haijing 5204, was seen around Block 06.1, an oil and gas extraction area within Vietnam's 200 nautical mile exclusive economic zone, according to data from ship tracking website Marine Traffic. Su-30 MKK flanker fighter jets belonging to the People's Liberation Army Air Force had conducted a 10-hour patrol over the South China Sea, breaking the Air Force's previous record of 8.5 hours. Although the report suggested only one Su-30 had made the 10-hour flight, an online video showed 5 to 6 fighter jets had been involved in the mission. The fighter aircraft departed from an air base in southern China and were refueled twice by Ilyushin 78 aerial refueling tankers. The Global Times described the operation as technically and mentally challenging for the pilots, noting that they had consumed rations to keep their energy levels up. The mission came at a time of heightened tensions between the United States and China over the maritime disputes in the South China Sea. Over the past few months, both countries have increased the tempo of naval exercises and air patrols in the South China Sea. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo declared China's jurisdictional claims in the South China Sea to be unlawful and accused Beijing of bullying the Southeast Asian claimants. While the video was designed to demonstrate China's growing power projection capabilities, one expert noted that it may have inadvertently revealed the PLAAF's weaknesses. The flankers were either lightly armed or unarmed, and the use of two Il-78s would have consumed 2/3 of the Air Force's heavy tanker fleet. It suggests that in a conflict over the South China Sea, the PLOF would not be able to send large numbers of aircraft into the battle space and sustain them. While the Global Times would only say that the fighter jets had been dispatched to the most remote islands and reefs in the South China Sea, the video clearly showed the aircraft flying over Subi Reef in the Spratly Islands. Subi Reef is one of China's 7 artificial islands in the Spratlys and hosts a 3,300-meter-long runway. Fiery Cross Reef and Mischief Reef also support long runways. The mission begs an important question. Why didn't the Su-30s land and refuel on Subi Reef? Surely one of the main purposes of the artificial islands is to enable China to project air power into the South China Sea to assert its territorial and jurisdictional claims, including the possibility of establishing an air defense identification zone over the Spratlys. China has deployed fighter jets to Woody Island in the Paracels. 2 commercial aircraft landed on Fiery Cross Reef soon after the runway had become operational. And over the past 2 years, the PLA has flown transport planes and maritime patrol aircraft to the artificial islands, including most recently in April. PLA Navy warships, China Coast Guard vessels, and Chinese-flagged survey ships are also frequent visitors to the man-made islands. Yet, as far as we know, no PLOF fighter aircraft has ever landed on Mischief, Subi, or Fiery Cross Reefs. Given the United States' interest in publicizing China's military activities in the South China Sea, both countries have accused each other of militarizing the dispute. It seems implausible that the Pentagon has evidence of fighter jet deployments to the Spratlys but hasn't released the imagery. Let's assume then that no Chinese fighter aircraft has ever landed on any of the 3 artificial islands. Given the vast costs of reclaiming the 7 features and then building military infrastructure on them, including fuel and ammunition depots, hangars, and radar and communications equipment, why hasn't the PLOF ever flown combat jets to the artificial islands? There are 3 possible reasons. The first is political. The second is aircraft maintenance issues. The third possible reason, if true, poses a more serious problem for Chinese defense planners, that the structural integrity of the facilities on the artificial islands, including the airstrips, is suboptimal and the PLOF is therefore wary of using them.